Can I start?
Yep.
Okay. Herkese merhaba. Ben Durmuş Kutay. Profen Grup'ta ürün geliştirme direktörüyüm. Profen Grup olarak Covid-19 pandemi dönemiyle birlikte başlayan uydu sektörünün seçkin üreticileriyle birlikte yürüttüğümüz seminerlerimize bugün global partner olduğumuz Kaymet'a ile devam ediyoruz. Biliyorsunuz uydu üzerinden haberleşme geçmişi çok da eskilere dayanmayan bir teknoloji. İlk uydu çok uzak zamanda değil, aslında 1960'da yörüngeye yerleştirilmiş. Buraya bir uydusu ve bu uydunun yörüngeye yerleştirilmesiyle birlikte de uydu antenleri kullanılmaya başlamış. O günden günümüze yaklaşık 60 yıl geçmesine rağmen uydu anteni teorisinde ve üretim yöntemlerinde çok da ciddi değişiklikler olmamış. Ta ki Kaymet'a uydu anteninin birkaç yıl önce tanıtılmasına kadar. Kaymet anteni önceki antenlerden oldukça farklı. Bir kere çanak anten değil, düz bir anten. Klasik faz dizili antenlere benzemesine rağmen tasarım ve üretiminde uygulanan yöntemler itibariyle ciddi farklılıklar göstermekte. Düşük profile, düşük ağırlığa, düşük güç tüketimine sahip SOTM tipi bir anten olan Kaymet anteni sabit olarak kullanılabildiği gibi, yani fixed anten dediğimiz şekilde kullanıldığı gibi kara, deniz ve hava aracı gibi hareketli platformlarda da rahatlıkla kullanılabilmektedir. Bu seminerimizde size Kaymet'in geçtiğimiz aylarda duyurduğu ve 2021 başında müşterilerine sevk etmeye başlayacağı U8 modelini ayrıntılı olarak tanıtmaya çalışacağız. Tanıtımı yapacak olan Raşcanji şirketinde Avrupa, Orta Doğu ve Afrika bölgesinde başkan yardımcısı görevini yürütmekte. Sunumun sonunda adet olduğu gibi bir soru cevap bölümümüz olacak. Bu bölümde sorularınızı sözlü olarak bekliyoruz. Cevaplamaya çalışacağız. Bu bölümü beklemeden soru sormak isteyenler Türkçe olarak da isterse Q&A butonuna veya sekmesine tıklayarak sorularını yazılı olarak da sorabilir. Sunum süresince de bu soruları cevaplamaya çalışacağız. Ben seminere katıldığınız için tekrar teşekkür ediyorum ve sözü Raş'a bırakıyorum. Raş, it's your turn.
Thank you, Dermis, and thank you for Profen for coordinating this exciting new session on Kymeta and its new products. Thank you to the whole of the Turkish environment and supporting us, and we'll run through now the presentation on Kymeta. So I'm going to cover the overview of Kymeta, the U8s, which is our latest product, the Kymeta Connect and Broadband services, which is our service platform, and then give you an overview of what is coming downstream within the Kymeta roadmap. I will say that you can ask any questions you want under the Q&A button underneath, so feel free to ask any questions and we will answer them throughout the session or at the end. So what is the mission of Kymeta? Kymeta was introduced to the market in 2012, and the function of the company was to unlock the potential of broadband satellite connectivity, combining both cellular and satellite connectivity for on-the-move communications. And the continuous connection on the move is critical, mainly because people expect comms always, whether they've got a mobile phone or whether they're in a car or whether they're a train or a bus. People expect to be connected at all times. And our mission as Kymeta is to develop leading-edge connectivity platforms, hardware and services to enable people to do that. So in terms of our next generation products, we had the U7 was introduced in 2016 and been around for a few years now. Our latest product that is going to be released at the end of this month, we'll start shipping at the end of the month, comes in 3 different flavors. You'll start to see it in Turkey and rest of places around the world very soon. The top one is the U8 antenna, which is mainly aimed at our integrator partners, and I'll explain each one in a second. The U8 Geo Terminal, which is our main flagship terminal that encapsulates all the different components to provide on-the-move communications on land and maritime. And the U8 Go, which is a new product that we're introducing in 2021, which is aimed at the transportable flyaway market. And we're very excited to be introducing that very soon. So in terms of the services of Kymeta, Kymeta started off, as we said, manufacturing a electronically steered antenna known as the U7. What we found, though, is that a lot of our partners in the market and a lot of companies who weren't so familiar with satellite communications wanted a cohesive and heterogeneous network that could connect to our antenna. And as a result, over time, we've been building out a global, initially a regional, and then building out a global fabric of network capacity, both satellite and cellular, that is shown on this slide. So if you can look at the top, the Kymeta Connect, which I'll go through later, is the brand name for a OpEx-based service that we will provide via our partners to the marketplace. And this incorporates the hardware, the services, and maintenance and support. On the left-hand side, on the corner, you will see Kymeta Broadband. Kymeta Broadband is our version of a regional network, combining multiple satellites on KU band and combining them to form a global network that you can use to provide land mobility and maritime mobility. And on the right-hand side, you can see the support functions that we provided via the NOC and other support centers of Kymeta. In terms of turnkey connectivity services, we focus on a number of key verticals, which will be very relevant to Turkey. Public safety, enabling command and control and real-time reporting for command vehicles in the market, such as ambulances, police, fire responders. In the middle, you have DoD and MOD. We have very specifically tailored our antennas to support the very robust environments for battlefield management and situational awareness. And enterprise, as we move towards 2023, 24, 25 timeframe, we expect that our antenna will start to be embedded within the connected vehicle environment, and you'll be able to go and buy a car with a Kymeta antenna inbuilt. We're very excited by that. So just let's run through in a bit more detail the portfolio of the Kymeta U8 family. So you can see a picture of the U8 antenna. So this is really aimed at companies that want to just take our antenna and combine it with their own third-party equipment. That third-party equipment could be a third-party modem. It could be a different size of buck. It could be a different SD-WAN router. But this allows for flexible integration using these different components. It's still designed for mobility. So all of the products that we talk about today have been optimized for satellite on the move and also satellite on the pause if required, combining a number of very key aspects to do with size, weight, and power, which we'll go through. They're all designed for global operations. And one of the things, if the people out there remember our U7 antenna, one of the, I would say, limitations of the U7 was that it came in 3 different flavors and only focused on a small portion of the KU band frequency range. This U8 antenna and all the U8 family covers the full 2 gigahertz range of KU band, so it's truly global. It means you can take it on virtually any satellite in KU band around the world, and you can configure it and connect in real-time broadband communications. And the last thing is LEO ready. And I think as we wait excitedly about who will come to the market first, which LEO will start to deliver surface, you can be very confident and comfortable to know that the U8 is LEO ready, which means that you can take a U8 now and upgrade it to a LEO capability later by we'll provide a buck, LMB, and a modem package depending on the different LEO solutions out there. The U8 Geo Terminal, this is, I would say, the most common methodology or common equipment version of our U8. You can see it on the left-hand side there. It is all of our antennas, the Kymeta families, as I said, is electronically steered, and they provide, this one provides satellite and cellular connectivity in the box. So already configured within the actual antenna itself is a cellular capability. There's an LTE modem and an SD-WAN router built in. There's also an iDirect or an STE IQ200 satellite modem built in. So that provides always-on communications via hybrid connectivity. The vehicle integration, you can take the antenna out of the box, plug it directly natively into the DC power supply of the car, and allows you to connect on top of the car very simply via the vehicle mounts or the roof mounts. And this antenna as well, like the other antennas, is LEO ready. So I think that's a really key thing. What we've seen is that a lot of people are, they need the comfort that when they install a antenna, that it will be supporting future communication systems such as LEOs. And that makes us ready and available for you. The third flavor of the U8 is the Gov Geo Terminal. The main difference here is that it's obviously government ready, which means that it's got this one has got an integrated iDirect 950 MP modem, but we can also support the Viasat CBM 400. And there's been a number of projects that Viasat have proposed our antenna for command and other difficult missions in the US, and we're very excited to be working with them. Like all of our antennas, they're designed for mobile platforms. When I say mobile, that means it could be an oil rig that's moving around. It could be obviously a car, the most common, a bus, a train, or even a ship as well. We have many antennas deployed on yachts and other small vehicles, including in Turkey, that Profen can talk about. Vehicle integration, we've spoken about that already. Extended environments, you can see that all of the antennas have the IP66 rating, which means that they can support very high temperatures, up to 70 degrees, and very low temperatures at minus 25, I think. I'll confirm that in a minute. And they are all LEO ready. So the key thing here is that this is a government-ready terminal that can be deployed into missions using different approved modems from iDirect and from Viasat. And this could be very interesting for obviously the Turkish military, Turkish army, and the Turkish Navy. We will also have a new version of this starting in mid of next year, which will be a mil-spec version of the U8. So we'll have mil-spec connectors. It'll also be Transec and FIPS 140 approved, which is a very key requirement for some militaries. And the last one I'll talk about here is the U8 Go, which is a very exciting new addition that's coming in Q1 next year. This is, as we can see, it's a simple, the same antenna, whatever version, in this ruggedized box. It supports both the internal or external mil-spec modems. It's an easy-to-remove lid. This can actually be tilted up to 45 degrees, so it can provide much better look angles and performance than a flat panel in certain scenarios. It's also got wheels and trackball for maneuvering, and it also includes the power supply in the box as well for remote environments. So we're very excited to be bringing that next year as well. Some examples of some special operations solutions you can see there, mainly obviously US-centric, these examples, but you can see that they take advantage of the unused space here. So these small vehicles don't have much space. You can't put a parabolic antenna or a fixed antenna on these. Our flat panel, because of the size, weight, and low power consumption, can easily be integrated into these M-raisers, as they're called in the US. Here's also some customizable mounting solutions depending on the size and the type of vehicle being used. And it also supports flexible deployment configurations. Here we can see these are last minute or these are quick deploy units that can be deployed into difficult terrains. Some examples of maritime. There's a good example on the left-hand side. Thank you to our partners, Profen. You can see that, I don't know if you can see the antenna. This is our U7 sitting on top of the roof of the Turkish Coast Guard. It's one of the key requirements here was it was low profile. It was also conspicuous. Couldn't see it. So it's very interesting for VIP type missions and military missions. On the right-hand side here, you can see a stealth fighter or a stealth maritime fighter in the US that's got the antenna built into it. And you can see some other examples of maritime. These are obviously military examples. We have many commercial applications as well where it's being deployed on yachts and barges, primarily, again, because of the low weight of the antenna. Okay, so we've just covered the product itself, the U8 family of products, the hardware side of Kymeta. I'm going to briefly talk now about the service side of Kymeta. So Kymeta Connect is the brand name for the packages that we'll be providing via our partners. It incorporates the Kymeta antenna, the Kymeta broadband service, which I'll show you the coverage area at the moment, and the Kymeta support. So for a single low-cost fee, a fixed fee for 12, 24, or 36 months, you can lease the service plus the antenna, and at the end of the 3-year period, for example, the antenna remains with the customer. So this is effectively like buying a mobile broadband package or a mobile phone package. You buy the phone, you pay it down. At the end of the 3 years, it's yours. You can upgrade it. You can keep it running with just the service. It's in a very non-intrusive, very low-cost version of getting into broadband mobility with Kymeta. So what does it include? As I said, it includes, it combines basically the hardware, the maintenance, and the support. The hardware can be purchased upfront or it can be leased, and most common, as an example, the lead-in price for this service is $999, you can see there. So for $999, it incorporates the hardware, the service, which is a 5x2 megabit service, bundled over 3 years with maintenance and support. So we aim to make this as aggressively priced for uptake in the marketplace and make it easy to upgrade as well, starting small and upgrading onto bigger bundles later on. This breaks down what the Kymeta Connect packages look like. So we can see that you can bundle it with any of our terminals, the Go, the Geo, or even the integrator version if somebody wants to offer their own integrated solution. It incorporates in the middle, you can see all the different functions that are included with the package. So it's 24/7 support via our different NOCs, security and fraud prevention, network monitoring and control, conditioning, least cost routing, and this is, we monitor the routing of the traffic over the hybrid network to ensure the best of breed service to our customers. Global SIV management, that's done through a partner relationship we have with the global MVNO. Kymeta Access application, which allows you to access the performance, the statistics, and other features that are being exhibited by the network, and this is via the portal itself, and other APIs and maintenance. So this is all included in that flat fee per month that I talked about, and there are different packages with that. And on the broadband network side, as we said today, we are geo ready, we're KU band ready, we're also hybrid ready, and in the future we will be moving our services onto LEOs as well, and also onto KA band in the future, which we'll speak about. So yeah, just at a high level, Kymeta Connect, it provides seamless connectivity. We monitor the network continuously to ensure that we're meeting our SLAs. It integrates analytics and appliances. Now, some of these are aspirational. These are the things that are being built and rolled out within our platform over the next 6 months. Edge content management enables dynamic traffic policies for operational efficiencies. Digital back office, you can read that. I won't actually read most of this because you can read it yourself. Just move on to the more important slides. Okay, so Kymeta Connect, as I said, that is the encapsulated service of the hardware plus the network, plus maintenance and support. Nevertheless, we're not saying that an end customer, has to buy the Kymeta service. They may not want to lease the service. They may want to buy the hardware from Profen, for example, and then they want to buy a service through Profen, which may or may not be using Kymeta Broadband. Now, if it is using Kymeta Broadband, I'll cover this now. So Kymeta Broadband is Kymeta's network. It's a fabric of KU-band services or KU-band capacity that we are leasing over the world. And we brought it together under an iDirect evolution network to provide a truly mobile experience, similar to other mobility networks out there which have the ease of use and true global roaming. So what does that include? So, you're very familiar now, I think, now with our antenna. This is the U8 or the U7 in the past, which is the core component of the ground piece of our network. Then we have the cellular with the global SIM. So when you buy this U8, as I said, it comes already with the SD-WAN router and also includes the global eSIM. You can also add a third-party SIM to that via the secondary SIM slot if required. If you're using our service, it's going to come configured with a SIM that connects seamlessly into our network. And this provides hybrid satellite cellular coverage. Satellite service is a 5x2 MIR best effort service, which I'll come on to in a second. So what is Kymeta Broadband? So we provide basically a 5 megabit down, 2 megabit up MIR service. So I'll show the coverage area today. As we start to expand it, it will start to cover most places around the world. It's guaranteed by our quality of service and monitored by our NOC. It provides turnkey on-the-move communications, but it can be used also for on-the-pause. So a lot of people are using this or looking to use this by taking the antenna and moving it to an area for 2 or 3 months, using it on the pause or in a fixed location, and then in a nomadic way, moving it to another location after a few months. And we have these packages I'll talk to you about, which can be quite useful for that. It's a pay by the gigabyte service. So our packages run from 1 gigabyte right up to 80 gigabytes per month, per terminal. And they're all covered by a 24/7 customer support center. The type of services that we can offer are a variety of plans: a 12-month individual plan, a 12-month pool plan, a 3-month pay-as-you-go plan. This is nice for a top-up type scenario, or custom plans whereby if, for example, one of Profen's customers wanted something very specific in a region that we don't cover, or they wanted a larger bandwidth pool, or they wanted larger throughput, we can also provide that via a custom plan. This is the coverage area. You can see on the left-hand side, which may or may not be relevant to here, is North America. This is EchoStar 105. In the middle, this is the one most relevant to here. This is Helasat 4. And the landing points are Cyprus. So we take the traffic off any point within this coverage area and then land it in Cyprus and then into the internet. And then in East Asia, we also have a footprint covered by KTSat. So these 3 footprints, when you buy a Kymeta broadband service, these are the 3 footprints you get today. We are also an authorized reseller of Intelsat FlexMove. So if you want, if you want a truly mobile global service, we can also provide the FlexMove, which effectively is a velocity-based network that provides 5x2 MIR like ours does, but allows you to move that terminal into places like Africa, also into Latin America via the global network. Excuse me. So that's the options that we have. What this is showing is the coverage area. You can see on the right-hand side, the 5x2 in the dark areas is what we have modeled and virtually guarantee that you'll get a 5x2 in these areas at a 55-degree scan. What we're seeing, though, using our U8 terminal is this type of performance. we're actually seeing a much bigger coverage area. The 5x2 you can see is covering a very large swathe of the footprint. And the 4x1 is really the bare minimum that you'll get as per the service, depending if you're on the edge of the footprint. So, essentially, when you buy a Kymeta broadband service, it's got an SLA, it's got a 5x2 megabit MIR, it's a per gigabyte model, and it comes with or without the Kymeta Connect service as an OpEx lease. Now, you can't probably see that, unfortunately, sorry about that, but we will provide these slides so you can, or through Profen, we'll provide these slides so you can walk them through them. You can see the different options. The only one I'd like to highlight here is the pool, the monthly pool. This is a nice one. So if you are familiar with the VNO concept in the satellite world, this allows you to multiple terminals, up to 5 terminals within a grouping, and you can share the gigabytes. So from 80 gigabytes right up to 1.28 terabytes. And then all the other features are very similar. And you pay for overages. You can monitor it. You can stop a customer if he's utilizing too much. You'll get warnings. It's all controlled via our portal, and you get access to that as our customer. So Kymeta support, I'm not going to cover too much detail on this because it may or may not be relevant, but essentially we are providing end-to-end support management, security management, and API access via our NOC. Profen will provide a portal, a Kymeta portal that you can access to interrogate and pull out information with regards to analytics and performance information. You can take that off an API and put it into your own tools and do your own analysis. And it also includes the maintenance support. So all of our if you buy the Kymeta Connect service, it includes, for that duration of the service level, it includes the complete support package in terms of the maintenance and support. Otherwise, if you buy the Kymeta antenna, it comes with a 1-year maintenance package, a warranty. It can be upgraded up to 5 years at a very small fee. Again, you can try to see these. They're a bit small, unfortunately, but you can see that there are 2 versions. There's a hardware-only support package that can be purchased and what it includes, and then an essential support package which has many additional features such as WAN optimization, user-defined content, end-to-end security management, 250 megabytes of satellite connectivity per month for connectivity included, et cetera, et cetera. Please feel free to read that in your own time. Okay, so I think we've covered quite a lot. The last 2 blocks of slides will cover the roadmap. So where we are today, let me just refresh. So we're the only electronically steered antenna in the world today that's commercially available. We've been operating since 2016 with our U7. 2018 with our U7. It's been deployed across the world in land, maritime services. We have around over 1,000 terminals deployed in different regions of the world, including Turkey, and it operates on the KU band network. Now, what we've launched now is the U8. The U8 will start to be deployed across the world now very soon, and we talked about some of the key features. It's KU band. What I'm going to talk about now is the roadmap that we see over the next 5 years. So you can see on the left-hand side, we had the U7, as I said, 2018. It was a regional KU band antenna. The U8 is now launched. It's available. It's actually lower price than the U7, which is exciting for us. Our intention is to drive up volume and drive down price and make this much more affordable for the mass market. Obviously, at the moment, these antennas are mainly focused on the enterprise market and the military market, but we will drive that price down through volume over time. This U8, as I said, is a KU band, global KU band antenna. It's geo-configured. It has the LTE, and it's LEO compatible. In mid of next year, late next year, we will introduce a new U8. It's the same U8 with some minor modifications. This will be LEO configured. It means that you can take it out of the box and you can plug directly into a LEO network. We'll have different flavors depending on the partnership agreements we have in place with the different LEOs. And it will also have edge compute. Not going to talk about that too much, except for edge compute is all to do. You saw some of the announcements in the world today with the number of companies, Amazon, Microsoft, doing cloud computing. Well, we want to be part of that cloud computing platform in the future, and we will have computing power built into the U8 to support some of the very advanced solutions that will be required by our customers and partners out there. And that's coming later on next year. In 2022, end of 2022, we expect to announce and release our first Ka-band antenna. We'll be utilizing all the knowledge and skills and issues that we've raised and seen on previous versions and bring all the positive points into global Ka-band antenna. This will basically be a similar variant of the U8. We don't know the form factor at the moment. We don't know the full performance of it. It's currently in design. And we are actually looking at the moment for Ka partners who may be interested in partnering with us in different variants of the Ka antenna version. And then in 2023-24, we expect to announce the launch of a fully integrated Ku and Ka-band antenna for connected vehicles. We're working very closely with a number of OEMs around the world. Very closely, we're working on their requirements to ensure that when our antenna is brought to market, it meets the needs of the car manufacturing world. And we're excited to be working with that over the next 2 or 3 years. This just shows the Ka-band portfolio that it's being designed for. Our tracking capabilities will enable integration both into the variety of different Ka-band, Geo, MEO, or LEO networks that are expected to be launched in the next couple of years. We'll see what version that takes. It's very early days. All we want to see is the sort of work that's going on to the analysis and design for the Ka-band itself. We'll also both regional and global Ka-band. With regards to NGSO compatibility, as I said, our antenna is NGSO ready. The key here is that each LEO or MEO network requires a specific RF chain and a specific modem that most of them have not been defined yet, the capabilities or the architecture. We're testing with LEO networks today. We've tested with quite a few of the ones. We've announced a partnership with also a company called Kepler that's out there in the press. That's a store and forward LEO network. And we've done some other work with some other LEOs that's under NDA at the moment. And future Ku and Ka-band terminals will be designed with an understanding of what the NGSO platform and architectures will look like, because they're continually evolving. There's something like 140 different type of LEO networks that expect to come to market in the next few years, and we want to be compatible with as many of those as possible. So availability of compatibility with which NGSO is not there yet. We're still waiting for most of them to go live, but we're all excited and wish them all the luck in the future. So just to finish off, and will hopefully give us some time then to do questions and answers as they come in, is just show you some of the deployments that we've, and obviously this is deployments of the U7 that have been deployed across the world. You can see this is a key area for us, first responders and mission command vehicles. Our partners that work with us specifically on the development of not just the interior, but the integration of the antenna. You can see that there is some are located on top of the roof, and we have flush mounted, and some companies have flush mounted them into the top of the roof so they're not visible. But we see this as a big growth area, definitely within regards to emergency management. And also, unfortunately, with COVID going on, people need fast response, telemedicine, and disaster recovery for situations where health is of a very important situation. Defense and government, I've shown you some of these before, so this is just more examples of where the antenna has been used in difficult terrains, both on the maritime and on the land version as well. Land mobile, we're seeing this is a relatively new area for SATCOMs. I think it's fairly well undefined because what does land mobile mean? It means basically any vehicle that traverses the land. And as I said, for people who don't know, if you go to LinkedIn, myself and my colleague Niladri, we were touring the whole of Europe for the last 3.5 weeks. We had the U8 on top of our car, and it was doing automatic switching between the satellite and cellular in very difficult terrains, in bad areas where there was no cellular or where there was no satellite, and it was switching automatically. And what we're finding is that we're in a stage now where people expect nearly 100% uptime. And mobile phone networks, they're built for consumers. They're not built for enterprise. And we really need special equipment and special satellite networks, special mobile networks to support very high availability. And that's really one of our major advantages of using the hybrid SAT-cell network that we have. You can see in South Africa there's an example on the right-hand side. And this is an exciting one. You can hopefully see the one in the middle with this is JSAT in Japan, where they flushed the antenna right into the roof of the car, totally non-visible. It's something that they want to put on their command vehicles across their region. Other commercial examples you can see on trains. We see that as a very big area of growth. Our U7 has been train certified, EN 51055. And we're starting to do work on certification for the U8 now. You can see there on a bus, this antenna, the U7 was initially deployed to track and collect information, operational, situational data from the roads by a project by Airbus and the World Bank. What they found was when they had deployed the antenna, it made sense to provide a satellite internet connectivity service and start charging passengers. So they were generating revenue while at the same time collecting operational statistics, which was fantastic. And you can see some of the other examples in there. I run through that relatively quickly because of the amount of slides, but I hope that give you a flavor of where Kymeta is in the past, where it is today, and where it's looking into the future. At this time, I think there may be a video that comes on a second. I'll just play this and then we'll go through the questions and answers. Lovely. Thank you so much for the time. We can now see if there's any questions or answers. And Dermis, you're online as well. So let's see.
Yes, I am online as well. And you may ask your question in Turkish as well. No problem.
Okay. I don't see any...
Rush, I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, we know that U7 can be used successfully in under Turkcell satellite system as well, besides Intelsat and Telesat and others. How about the U7, sorry, U8? can we use U8 under Turksat system as well?
Absolutely. So, well, I mean, you know, the big advantage of the U8 is that it covers the full 2 gigahertz Ku band range. And so the U7 had 3 versions, the X, M, and H, and you had to decide effectively which satellite antenna, which version combined with which satellite frequency you could use. And I would say that was a bit of a limiting factor because it wasn't truly global. With the U8, you can go onto any of the Turksat Ku band fleet, and when you finished on one Ku band Turksat satellite, you can move to another one. So yes, absolutely. There's nothing holding any services to be launched or being delivered on Turksat, any of the Turksat Ku band satellites.
Thank you. I have second question.
Sure.
You have many flavors for data markets. How about broadcast markets? I mean, do you have a special solution for broadcasters, maybe for news agencies, etc.?
That's an excellent question, Derma. So I think this is where it becomes exciting. When we speak about where the traditional markets are for a mobility antenna, people seem to forget that the biggest traditional market was SNG, satellite news gathering, or digital satellite news gathering. And in the past, there has been no antenna that can work economically and efficiently from a capacity perspective on a fast-moving vehicle. Our antenna has been designed ground up to work on very high-speed mobile platforms, whether it be a car traveling at 150 miles an hour, a train 250 miles, or an aircraft. Even though we're not aircraft certified, we have tested on multiple aircraft with our partners Airbus. And that's one of the key things is our software algorithm, our pointing and tracking algorithm, and the way that it moves in and out of those frequencies very efficiently. So we believe with the right partners like yourself, you can put an antenna on a vehicle which is doing traditional video transmission, news gathering, and you can now provide true satellite on the move, very high quality. As we've said, our broadband service that we provide is a 5 megabit down, 2 megabit up, which is absolutely fine for an SD type codec type service, a news service. But as we've shown multiple times, we've delivered 50 megabits on this tour across Europe. Dermis, we've delivered 50 megabits down and 4 or 5 megabits up on the satellite Helasat we were using, which is a mid-range satellite. If you're using a much higher throughput satellite, such as Epic, we've delivered 12 megabits up and much more down. So the key constraint in using SNG with other antennas is they are not configured to be not configured for on-the-move communications, and that's really our core strength. So I would recommend that if you take our U8 integrator version and you combine it with a modem that supports broadcast, such as the new techs out there, there is no reason why this system won't support it and work very efficiently and much more cost effectively than other systems out there, such as the BGAN systems from Inmarsat.
Thank you, Raj. Yeah, I'm sure if you integrate with the LTE solution and create a hybrid solution, then satellite plus LTE, we may most efficiently, we may more efficiently broadcast video content to the studio from the field.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the fundamental, so what I've seen, I've been in the satellite market for 20 years, and what I've seen is one of the biggest resistors to buying or traction within the satellite market has been a couple of things. One, the cost of the hardware. So traditional SATCOM hardware has been relatively expensive. And as I said, our Kymeta Connect service tries to overcome that by providing a lease model. And I think with companies now open to a lease model, if you lease it for $1,000 or something around that a month, it's very low cost for an enterprise. So I think there'll be a large uptake or interest in a mobility type solution provided by us through yourself. The other thing is obviously that there's been a limiting or a relatively high cost in satellite capacity. As we've seen in many years with not just KU band and GEOs, KA band and now LEOs, the price of bandwidth is dramatically being driven down. As price comes down, then applications such as satellite on the move we provide become more affordable and more available. Every single vertical market, whether it be a yacht owner, a cruise line, a barge owner, or a first responder, a military, they can all take advantage of this, and it all comes down to confidence in the solution. With your help, Durmus, you have been promoting our partnership for the last few years. We're very excited that we're at a stage now, I think, that you can now comfortably bring the U8 to market, and there'll be a larger uptake than there has been in the past, especially with the SAT cell, with the LEO upgradability, and the fact that we are fully KU band global compliant. So I don't know if Jill, if you're online, do you see any other questions coming up from the audience?
Hi, this is Niladri. I just had one question came up about tracking, which I just answered.
Okay. Do you want to read it out and then answer it for everyone, Niladri?
Yeah, so the question was, how is the tracking speed of this technology compared to the standard gimbal antennas? And compared to the traditional gimbal antennas, we are an electronically steered antenna, and we form beams electronically to the specified satellite, and our formation of the beams takes less than 10 milliseconds.
Fantastic. I think that's I think people need to really see this technology in action before they understand what the capabilities are. The parabolic antenna has been the only type of antenna that's been around for mobility for the last, let's say, 10 years. And it's been a great for ships and for other on the pause and some obviously on the move applications. But there are some key negatives with those. One, they're mechanical, so they go wrong. They wear and tear, and they have to be repaired every 6 months or a year. There's high maintenance costs. The size of them, they're relatively large in size compared to our antenna. Our antenna is only less than 90 centimeters in diameter. The weight, our antenna is less than 30 kgs. Those are, how big they are. So it really comes down to the application. There is nothing that our antenna can't do that those antennas were doing. The only challenge is finding the right satellite with the right performance and the right coverage, and we can do it all. And I think as LEOs become more and more accepted in the market in the next 10 years, there won't be parabolic antennas. There won't be mechanical antennas. Everything will be software controlled and electronically steered. So yeah, thank you, Niladri. That's a very, very important point that we should not overlook. I accept that sometimes it's hard to pick up the information because of the speed the way I talk. It's very fast. So I hope that we can provide these slides. You can look in your own time, and we can answer them as best as we can at a later stage. But I would strongly recommend that you talk with Durmus and the Profen team. The U8 is fully available now. There is a backlog. We've sold a lot of them already, but all the applications that we spoke about today and many that we haven't thought about could be utilized by our antenna. So we really, really want to make sure that it's promoted and utilized in the Turkish market and the surrounding areas as well. So, yeah, we're here to support Dermis and the team.
Thank you, Raj. Let me thank to audience, Raj. Herkese çok teşekkür ediyoruz katıldığınız için. Eğer sorularınız olursa Profen olarak ve Kaymeta olarak her zaman cevaplamaya hazır olacağız. Şunu söyleyebilirim son olarak, gerçekten emsalsiz bir ürün Kaymeta anteni. Belki her şeye uygun olmayabilir ama kesintisiz, her koşulda kesintisiz iletişim ihtiyacı olan uygulamalar için gerçekten bulunmaz bir ürün olduğunu söyleyebilirim. Teşekkür ediyoruz katıldığınız bu zamanı bizimle paylaştığınız için. Görüşmek üzere diyorum. Sağlıcakla kalın. Thank you, Raj.
Thank you, Dermis. Thank you, Daphne. And thank you to the team. And we hope to see you very soon and look forward to buying lots of U8s. Thank you and have a lovely day.
Have a nice day.